July 1954, Haneda Airport, Tokyo. It was a scorching summer day when a tall, professional-looking man in a business suit stepped up to the customs counter. He looked like any other businessman until he handed over his passport. The customs officer froze. The passport looked authentic. It had official seals, a professional photo, and valid stamps from various European countries. But the name of the country printed on the cover made no sense. It was a country called Taured. The officer asked where this country was located. The man, speaking fluent French but also capable in Japanese, looked confused. He replied as if it were common knowledge. Taured is between France and Spain. It has existed for over 1,000 years. He wasn't joking. He wasn't nervous. He was genuinely offended that the officer didn't know his homeland. Authorities were called in. They led the man to an interrogation room and produced a world map. "Show us," they said. The man pointed confidently to the region of Europe where the country of Andorra sits today. But when he saw the word Andorra written there, his face turned pale. He began to tremble. He claimed that Andorra didn't exist and that his country, Taured, had occupied that space for a millennium. He couldn't understand why the map was wrong. The mystery deepened when they checked his personal belongings. He carried currency from several different European countries, but he also had strange, unrecognized coins that looked like they were minted in a world we don't inhabit. He held a driver's license issued by the government of Taured and a checkbook from a bank that no one had ever heard of.
The police were convinced it was an elaborate hoax, but the evidence suggested otherwise. They contacted the company he claimed to be visiting in Tokyo for a business meeting. The company confirmed that a man with his name was expected, but when they checked the records, the man they were waiting for was from a completely different city. They called the hotel where he claimed to have a reservation. The hotel had no record of him. But here is the detail that baffles researchers to this day. His passport was filled with real, verified visa stamps from previous trips to Japan and other countries. If he was a fraud, how did he get official, stamped entry into multiple countries using a passport from a fake nation? It was as if he had been traveling between our world and his for years, until this specific day, when the door between worlds finally slammed shut. Confused and fearing he might be a spy, the Japanese authorities decided to detain him overnight. They placed him in a room on the 6th floor of a high-security hotel. 2 armed guards were stationed directly outside his door. The room had no balcony, and because it was the 6th floor, the windows were sealed shut and impossible to open. The man was seen entering the room. The guards heard him pacing inside for a few hours. Then, silence. The next morning, when the police entered to take him for further questioning, the room was empty. The bed was made. His luggage, his passport, his mysterious coins, and his Taured checkbook, everything had vanished with him. The guards swore that the door had never opened. There was no way out through the window. It was as if he had simply unexisted. Was the man from Taured a traveler from a parallel universe? Modern physics suggests that an infinite number of versions of Earth exist simultaneously. In his world, perhaps the nation of Taured flourished where Andorra stands in ours. Some believe he stepped through a dimensional slip, a temporary tear in reality that dumped him into our timeline. When he went to sleep in that hotel room, did the slip happen again, pulling him back to his own version of Europe? There are other cases. A woman named Lorena Garcia who woke up in a world where her job and boyfriend were completely different. A man named Jofar Voren who claimed to be from Laxaria. Are these people crazy, or are we living in a reality that is far more fragile than we think? As you watch this car descend the mega ramp, ask yourself, if you woke up tomorrow in a world that didn't know your country, where would you go? Subscribe to the Mystery Vault for more files from the multiverse. Stay curious. Stay safe.